another video. I'm so excited to be back again, and I'm bringing you a different kind of video today. I'm gonna sit down here and I'm gonna have a little chat. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen that a few days ago, last week, I actually posted the new little thing that they have on there where you can ask me a question. And I had a question come through, and it was basically asking, how do you manage to have confidence in yourself and be body positive? I ended up saying that I would just do a video because there was way too much to cover for that kind of question just on an Insta story. And I felt like this is something that should be addressed and should be talked about because I do have a lot to say on the subject, and I want to be able to share kind of what I've learned in my life and the wisdom that I have, and I'd love to share that with anybody out there that is struggling with this topic, because at the end of the day, we all have struggles. No one's perfect. I don't love myself all of the time, but I am confident in who I am, and I do have positivity around my body, and I want to share how I'm able to get to that point, because I know this is something that girls and women struggle with a lot. So this is all about body positivity and how to be confident, and also let's go into a little bit about how to support our emotions as well. So I want you to walk away from this video and feel like you have actual practical steps and things that you can implement into your life where you can actually move towards being more confident in yourself and having more positivity around your body image. And so I've kind of put some dot points down in my notes here that I have on my computer. So I'm going to be speaking from what I've written down and what I've learned. I think it's important for me to also note that I haven't always been body positive. And even though I've always been a pretty confident person, it's just part of my personality, I haven't always been confident in who I am, and they're very different. You can be very confident and outgoing, but you can be completely insecure about who you are. And I've had those times. I have been completely insecure in who I am, not knowing who I am, not feeling comfortable in my own skin, not thinking that I'm good enough, and all of the above. So I want you to know that I'm not speaking from a place on a pedestal where I've never gone through this stuff. I actually have, and my confidence and outgoing nature almost hid away what I was really feeling inside. And so because of that, I actually struggled a little bit more because I didn't want to let people know how I was feeling. No one knew that I was having the thoughts that I had, and that's what also helped to lead me to an eating disorder when I was a teenager as well. But we're not talking about that today. So whether you feel like you're a confident person or not, I want you to know that anyone can become confident in who they are. Anybody can go from not having a good positive view on their body to having a really positive view on their body. And you can really shift your mindset around who you believe you are and what you look like just by implementing some practices into your everyday life. So first and foremost, I just want to say that every single person in this world was created in the image of Christ. Okay, I'm a Christian, okay, so I need to touch on this. If you're not a Christian, if you're not religious, please don't turn this video off. It's not going to be all about religion and all of that. But I do need to talk about this because it's a very important part of my journey and where I've come from being very unconfident and insecure in who I was as a person and how I looked, to being now the woman that I am and being very confident in who I am and being very comfortable in my skin. So God created every single inch of us, okay? He has put every single person on this planet. We have a purpose. Every single one of you out there has a purpose. Whether you found it or not, you have a purpose. We all have something to give to this world, and we are all beautiful. And we're not looking at what the magazines tell us are beautiful or what celebrities tell us are beautiful. No. Every single person is beautiful and unique and special, and we all have something to give to this world. And I really want you to understand and realize that. So it's not an accident that you're here. And I need to get that across, because oftentimes people especially girls, but a lot of boys even these days, feel that the world would be better off without them. And that leads them down a destructive path of self-destruction. And so I want you to hear me when I say that it is not an accident that you are here. You were put on this earth for a reason, with a purpose to live out. And so we just need to find some practical ways that you can actually find that within you to believe that you are actually created in the image of God, and God created us all to be beautiful. And beautiful doesn't just come down to looks. So this kind of leads me to my first point, and that is to be confident and have body positivity, you must love yourself for who you truly are first. If we don't love the person that we are, and I'm talking about to our core, how can we love how we look? And this just reminds me of, like, you know, when you might see somebody or meet somebody that is very physically attractive, and then you get to know them and they're not such a nice person. Maybe like it's a girl at your high school and they're a mean girl, okay? They're not a nice person. Your perception of what they look like physically changes. I know for me it does. And so if you're a good person and if you love who you are and you focus on spreading positivity and love to the world, and you focus on being a nice person, and you focus on loving yourself for who you are on the inside and being the best version of you that you can be, nobody is looking at you and saying, oh my goodness, they are really ugly. And especially if those people are confident in themselves as well, they're not going to be judging your physical appearance. What you'll find is that people that judge you for how you look, it's generally more of a reflection on themselves than on you, okay? Somebody who's confident in themselves, somebody who loves themselves and is a nice, confident person who spreads positivity and love is not going to bring down another person. We don't have, as a confident person, I do not look at other people and just think, oh, they're not attractive, okay? I don't see that at all. I try to find out who they are as a person, and looks don't even come into it for me. Obviously, we all notice if someone is very physically attractive, but I don't look at somebody who's not physically attractive and think to myself, they're ugly or they're not attractive, because I'm confident in who I am, and I would never, ever, ever want to judge somebody based on how they look. And I think it's so much more important who you are as a person inside, and that is actually gonna shine much brighter than your outward appearance. So it's all good and well to say that you need to love yourself on the inside first and for who you truly are, but I know that realistically we need practical steps on how to even get there in the first place. So that's what I'm going to talk about now. So number one is become mindful. People who have more self-love tend to know what they think, feel, and want. They are mindful of this knowledge and they act on what they want rather than on what others want from them. Another way of becoming mindful is by reading personal development books and the Bible. So if you are not religious, I still encourage people to read the Bible because it is awesome and it's the most amazing self-help book out there. However, all the other personal development books out there, all those principles come from biblical principles, and they've just been turned into a non-biblical way of saying it. So there are some incredible books. A couple of my favorite are the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John C. Maxwell. And actually, John C. Maxwell, anything by him is amazing. He has so many awesome personal growth books. And what I love about him is they're just very straightforward and to the point, but he's got a lot of wisdom to share with you. His books range from personal development to business development. So this one is personal and business focused. Like, it's kind of about chasing after your dreams and how to grow as a person so that you can be the best version of yourself and achieve anything you want in your life. But I'm also listening to an audio book of his right now as well, and it is called Intentional Living, and so I just love that one as well. A couple of other books that I love I've got lots on my audiobooks because I like to listen to audiobooks because I don't get as much time to read, but I also like to buy the hard copy books as well so that I can go through and highlight things. This book I feel is a must-have. Everybody should read this, okay? Oh my goodness, like teenagers onwards, everyone needs to read this book. It's such a nice read. It's very easy to read. It's not super long, and it's called The Energy Bus, and it's by John Gordon. And it actually comes in a kid's version as well, and it's called The Energy Bus for Kids, which is an amazing, amazing book for kids. Caprice will read it, will listen to me read it to her. Haven's still a little bit young. Caprice is still probably on the younger scale, so probably from 4 or 5, depending on how well your kids concentrate. And but it's awesome all the way up to probably like 12 years old. I feel like once you become a teenager, you could read this book and this would have a really, really good impact on you as well. What I love about this personal growth book is that it is written in the form of being a fictional story. So it's got characters and it's talking about a story of these characters, but the message behind it is so amazing. And this book has really left me in tears. And I can't speak higher of it, and I recommend it to everybody. So definitely The Energy Bus. There's also a couple other ones, such as that classic How to Win Friends and Influence People. I'm actually listening to the How to Win Friends and Influence People in the Digital Age version right now, because that obviously relates to me so much more, being that I'm on social media a lot. And this is just such an awesome book. Like, that's why it did so well back when it was first written. It still does so well now, because the principles and the main points that you take away from the book still remain the same today. Another awesome book that I have in my audiobooks is The Gift, and that's by Shad Helmstetter. And this is a really, really, really awesome personal growth book as well. There are so many books that I could share with you. I'm not going to go into all of them. Maybe I'll put a list down in the description below so that you have some ideas on things that you can read. But I honestly, truly, really recommend doing at least 10 to 15 minutes of personal growth every single day. There's also awesome podcasts. I love listening to the Rich Roll podcast. I also love listening to the Gold Digger podcast by Jenna Kutcher. That's more business focused, but I really love, she's very uplifting as well, so I like listening to that. I love listening to Conversations with John and Lisa Bevere. They are two pastors in America, and they have a ministry that is so amazing, and their podcasts are really awesome because they're literally like 15 or 20 minutes long, so they're really quick and easy to listen to. I also love listening to Kris Vallotton on his podcast on iTunes, and so there's lots of different podcasts that I like listening to. I'll leave a list in the description below for that as well. So filling your mind with positivity can make such a huge difference to how you perceive yourself, okay? Because our minds are very, very, very powerful, and all these books and podcasts and things like that will tell you this. What you tell your mind is what you begin to believe. And so we have to retrain our thoughts to believe something that maybe we don't believe right now, but we have to retrain our thoughts and tell ourselves something that we maybe don't believe in the beginning until we start to believe it. And so for, you know, however long you've been telling yourself that you're not good enough, that you're not pretty enough, that you don't have a nice body, that you couldn't possibly do that because XYZ, okay? The more that you tell yourself that, the more you're going to believe it. And then what happens is you start manifesting on your thoughts. You manifest on those beliefs, and they manifest into, now you are a very unconfident person who can't possibly step out into the world and do anything because you don't think that you have anything to give to the world. You don't think that you have anything of value to give to people because you can't even see it in yourself because you don't love yourself, okay? So doing even just 10 to 15 minutes of personal growth or development every single day, my goodness, it makes a massive, massive, massive difference. And I feel like that all comes under the umbrella of being mindful. Number 2, act on what you need rather than what you want. So it really shows how much you love yourself when you can turn away from something that you want towards something that you know you need, that's going to make you strong, centered, and moving forward in your life. By staying focused on what you need, you turn away from automatic behavior patterns that end up getting you into trouble, that keep you in the past, and that really lessen that self-love. A really good example of this is if you feel that you are struggling with your weight, okay, and you hate the way that you look because of your weight, but to feed that emotional guilt, you eat more. And you're an emotional eater, or you're a boredom eater, or you're a guilty eater, whatever it is. And what do? When you're not feeling good about yourself, you're not going to turn to the fridge and eat a salad. Most people, when they're not feeling good about themselves, they're going to want cake, or they're going to want pasta, or they're going to want whatever, a croissant. Like you're going to want things that aren't healthy, okay? You're going to want indulgence foods. So what do? When you come to a crossroad and you're not feeling good about yourself, what you want is some bad food, okay, that you know isn't going to feed you, it's not going to fuel you, it's going to actually fuel the issue even more, which is you're not going to be working towards helping you lose some weight to feel better. But what you need is you need to focus on what's going to make you feel better, what's going to help you achieve the result that you want, and what's going to help you move forward in life. So when we can actually create and build the discipline that we need in order to say no to what we want, maybe the piece of pie, and say yes to what we need, which is the salad that, yeah, we don't really feel like eating a salad today, but you know what? That's gonna fuel my body. I'm gonna start getting motivated to eat more healthy foods because of the way that it makes me feel afterwards. I don't feel sluggish. I don't hate myself even more. I actually feel good and proud of myself for eating that salad rather than that piece of pie. And then what happens is you start changing these behaviors, and you start getting into a new pattern, creating new habits, and then you're able to really cultivate that discipline that you need within yourself in order to keep going. And this really brings me to my third point. Number 3, practice good self-care. You will love yourself when you take better care of your basic needs, okay? This includes getting up in the morning when you don't feel like it a little bit earlier and going for a walk, or going for a run, or going to the gym, or doing a workout at home. When we exercise, we release endorphins, and endorphins make us happy. This is not new news, guys. We all know this. But I think that too many people just don't feel like exercising, so they just don't. And then they don't realize how good exercising actually makes you feel. You do not need to become a gym junkie. I am not a gym junkie, although I can become one when I have the time and I get really into it, because it's actually addictive. When you start working out, those endorphins are addictive. And even though the workout might be really hard and you hate it while you're doing it, afterwards you feel exhausted, and then you feel really good. Those endorphins are released, those happy hormones, those happy feelings. And you're addicted to that feeling, so you want to do it again the next day, right? So when we're actually going out and doing things that we know we need to take care of our body and to make us feel better, and we start creating those new habits and patterns, that is going to all play a huge part in loving ourselves and being confident in ourselves. Another thing about exercising is that we weren't designed as humans to sit on a chair all day. We are in a culture in the Western society where we are spending a lot of time dormant, stationary. We're not moving our bodies, we're not exercising, we're not getting out there and being active like we used to be as a human race. So it's not actually natural for us to be this way. We're actually supposed to move, we're actually supposed to be active. And so that makes a huge difference when you start incorporating some light activity, or heavy if that's your jam, some light activity, even 3 to 4 times a week. My goodness, guys, I promise you it'll make a huge difference. And don't do it because you're focusing on trying to have a certain body. Do it because you know what is right and good for your body, and that's what's gonna make you feel better inside afterwards. You also wanna make sure that you're eating well. So nutrition is a huge, important aspect of this. You guys know that I'm vegan, so I'm going to promote the vegan lifestyle on my channel. Eat more whole plant foods, okay? Even if you're not a vegan yet or can't even see yourself being a vegan, try and eat less meat. Try and eat less dairy. In fact, cut dairy out. Dairy is terrible. If I could only cut out one of those, it would be dairy. Dairy is awful. Linked to so many diseases, cancer, all sorts of issues. So is meat, but we're not talking about that today. But cut out dairy. That alone will help you feel so much better. And then cut back on meat. Eat more whole plant foods. Eat more meatless meals, okay? And start to just incorporate way more greens, vegetables, and fruits into your diet and see how you feel, okay? I'll just leave it up to you, just see how you feel. So another part of practicing good self-care is also making sure that you sleep enough. I'm preaching to myself right now because I have a tendency to be a workaholic and I could stay up all night working, but then if I had the next day to sleep, that would be okay, right? But I don't. I have to get up with kids, and so I'll end up having like 3 to 4, maybe 5 hours sleep a night some weeks, and I'll go weeks like that. And I'll tell you what, when I came back from America and I got really sick, I was in bed for 2 weeks straight. Honestly, I haven't slept that much, probably my entire adult life. When I actually finally got out of bed and was back into kind of routine and having to look after my kids, I was still taking naps every single day while Haven napped, and I was going to bed very early and getting like at least 10 hours sleep a night, sometimes 12. And I was still tired because I was so run down and my body just was in a deficit, and it was like, no, 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 we're gonna make sure that you catch up on this sleep. So I've been really intentional since getting so sick, never wanting that to happen again, that I need to be more intentional on my sleep. I'm so careful with every other aspect of my life and making sure that I'm really healthy in all other areas. But then when it came to sleep, well, sleep was like, I don't need sleep. So obviously there's going to be nights where I stay up later and I work, but I need to back that up with a night of good sleep, okay? Because I am worth that. Sleep is such a huge, important part of our health, and without it, I mean, honestly, we can't survive, and so we need that. And I'm just a happier person when I've had sleep. I wake up in a better mood, I'm nicer to my kids, I'm nicer to my husband, and I'm nicer to myself. I care about myself more, and I want to wake up and eat a healthy meal to start the day, and then I want to exercise and get my body moving, and I want to get out of the house and get into the sunshine. So sleep is really, really important as well. And then of course, lastly on this is have healthy social interactions. We as a human race were not designed to do life alone, okay? Even if you're an introvert, you can have healthy social interactions that meet your comfort level. So you could just have a very small, tight-knit community of friends, and if that's your limit, like you don't like big crowds, you don't like being out for long periods of time, just do what you're most comfortable with, but make sure you're not doing life alone. We're not supposed to do life alone, and I'll tell you what, when I have been depressed, I look back on those times and I felt most depressed in the seasons of my life when I had no community around me, when I felt like I had no friends, or I didn't have any friends because I was living in a new city and I didn't know anyone. So those were the times where I felt at my lowest. Those were the times that I felt unhappy, depressed. And let me tell you, when you feel unhappy and depressed, even if it just comes from not feeling like you have any friends or community around you and you just feel isolated, that affects your thoughts in all areas of your life. And you start to look at yourself in other ways, and you criticize the way that you look and criticize the way that you are, and then you think, maybe I don't have friends because I'm not good enough, or I'm not pretty enough, or I don't have enough talent, or I don't have anything to give to people, okay? And then we start manifesting on those thoughts again. So make sure that you have a healthy social life as well. Next thing is number 4, set boundaries. You will love yourself more when you say no to activities, to things that are going to deplete you and create more physical harm, or not so much harm, but just affect you negatively. It's okay to say no to some things. Number 5, protect yourself. protect yourself. They say that you can tell a person by the 5 closest people to them. Okay, so you want to really protect yourself from bringing people into your life that are negative, that bring you down. We need people to encourage us, to build us up, to give us courage, to affirm us. And so if you look at the 5 closest people to you and really analyze, you might love them, they might be a really, really old friend, but are they always negative? Are they always complaining? Are they putting you down? Maybe they're going as far as telling you that you're not good enough. Maybe they are so insecure in themselves that they're constantly bringing you down. I would seriously consider distancing myself from those people. And the funny thing is that when I started to learn to love myself more and I started practicing a lot more self-love, I naturally distanced myself from people like that in my life. It's not that you have to completely cut them out, and then does not need to be like a breakup or anything like that. But you can slowly but surely distance yourself to a place where it kind of feels normal now that you're not as close because you've just kind of grown apart, and you can create and find new friendships with people that actually build you up and encourage you and affirm you and are positive, and that you walk away from being with them and you feel good about yourself, about life, about anything. And one of the other things that's really important to work on is making sure that you're that person as well. So you want to also make sure that you're the encourager, that you're affirming people, that you're building them up, that you're not tearing them down, and that you're being positive, and that what comes out of your mouth isn't constant complaints, and that when people leave hanging out with you, that they feel good about themselves and good about life, and they don't just feel like bogged down, they don't feel kind of negative. So we want to make sure that we're that person, but we also want to find other people like that to do life with as well. Number 6, forgive yourself. This is a huge one, okay? We put a lot of pressure on ourselves these days, and if we do something wrong, we hate ourselves, we beat ourselves up, we tear ourselves down. Stop. If somebody that you really loved close to you did something wrong, made a mistake, did something by accident, and they were really hating on themselves about it, would you tear them down? Or would you say to them encouraging words? Would you speak life into them? If you wouldn't say it to a friend, why are you saying it to yourself? Be kind to yourself, forgive yourself. We're not perfect, we're human. Humans are not perfect, no one is perfect, okay? I want you to remember that. I am not perfect, but when we learn to forgive ourselves and be kind to ourselves, it makes a huge difference when we do the wrong thing, when we do make mistakes, when we do speak to our partners disrespectfully. Learn to apologize, say sorry, and then forgive yourself as well. Don't say sorry to them and then hate on yourself for the rest of the day because you just can't believe that you were just so horrible and how could you be like that, blah, 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 blah. Don't do it. Don't dwell. Okay? Apologize, make amends, and then move forward. And finally, number 7, live intentionally. You will love and accept yourself so much more when you live intentionally in your purpose, when you live with passion. So this comes back to finding who you are as a person and living that out. And then, you know, listening to personal development so that you can rewire your mindset and your belief system and your thoughts to believe that you can do what you were brought on this earth to do. You can do whatever you want to. No matter what your dream is, you have the power within you to make it a reality. So live with intention, live with purpose, live with passion. If your purpose isn't completely crystal clear to you right now, that's okay as well. But if your intention is to live a meaningful life, a healthy life, then your decisions will support this intention. You will love yourself more because you'll see yourself starting to accomplish your goals no matter what it's in, whether it's in work, whether it's in losing weight, whether it's in growing in your spiritual walk. It doesn't matter what it is, but your decisions will reflect your intention if your intention is right or if it's wrong. So we want to make sure that our Our intention is to live a meaningful and happy, healthy life. The last thing I want to touch on is emotions. Women especially, but guys as well, are very emotional. We are emotional driven beings, okay? It's in our DNA. Some women are not overly driven by their emotions. I am. And so one thing that has really supported me has been essential oils. You guys know I use essential oils. I've been using them for a long time now. I talk about them on my Insta story a lot, and that is because they have literally changed my life. When I gave birth to Haven and we moved back to Australia and I had all the breastfeeding issues, I got severe postpartum issues, okay? I was suffering badly with postpartum stuff. And I had that nervous tension and I was shaky and foggy headed, and I got into this like depressive mindset, and I felt very isolated and alone, and I missed my friends in San Diego, and the whole situation was just bad, okay? So I was using essential oils to help support me through that. And let me tell you, they make a huge difference. The reason that they work so well with our emotions is because your sense of smell is actually the strongest sense that you have that is tied to your emotions. So what happens is when you smell something, an essential oil or even someone cooking a meal, the smell goes up through the nasal passage and it goes into the limbic system, which is the part of the brain that holds all your emotions, okay? So when we smell something, it can trigger either a positive or negative emotional response. So if you've ever smelt something and it has triggered a bad memory from your childhood, that obviously then releases a negative emotional response. Moreover, if you smell something that links you to a positive memory from your past, then that's usually going to trigger a positive emotional release, and you're going to feel good and happy and, you know, oh my gosh, that reminds me of that time. So scent is really, really powerful. But not only that, but essential oils are so powerful, they work synergistically with our body on a cellular level, and can really help to support our bodies to function properly, okay? So when we are highly emotional and stressed out, obviously we're releasing cortisol, which is the stress hormone. Our body is not in sync. It's not in homeostasis. We're not in perfect harmony and balance. So sometimes we need help. We need something to support our bodies so that we're functioning correctly and that we go back into homeostasis and we feel balanced and normal, okay? And essential oils have been a huge part of me regaining normal emotional balance and feeling like emotionally and mentally, I am actually balanced, normal, healthy, strong, and I'm not losing it all the time. The other thing is that Young Living also have a NINGXIA red drink, which I also talk about on my Insta story, and I can't stop this video without talking about it because it is seriously the thing that has helped me the most. Even beyond oils, if I could only have one Young Living product for the rest of my life, it would be NINGXIA Red, okay? If I could only pick one. It's hard, but NINGXIA Red would be it. And the reason for that is that while oils helped to support me emotionally when I was triggered, when I was having those pretty deep, dark emotional feelings and emotional responses to things happening in my life, that wasn't actually stopping me from feeling triggered and getting that nervous tension and feeling very anxious and stuff. What did was drinking NINGXIA Red. So I've been using oils for 4 years, nearly, and I only started drinking NINGXIA Red consistently every single day a 1.5 years ago. And up until a 1.5 years ago, when I started drinking NINGXIA Red consistently, I was still getting triggered daily. I wasn't getting my nervous tension, have to be compliant here guys, I have to be careful with my language, but I wasn't getting that nervous tension as severe because I was using my oils really regularly, but I was still getting triggered every single day. My kids would trigger me every day and I would message my husband and just say, I can't handle this. My that word, is so bad today. And I literally, I was struggling. Like I would use my oils and they would help me, but I got it every single day. When I started drinking NINGXIA Red every single day, and I only drink 60 ml a day, it took about 2 months But after 2 months, I actually stopped getting triggered. And I was like, what? This is cool. I haven't had like that nervous tension in a while. And then I ran out of NINGXIA Red before my next order was coming, and there was like a 3-week gap between finishing my bottles and getting my new order. And let me tell you, in that 3 weeks, I like literally hit rock bottom again. Not rock bottom, but I got triggered. I was starting to feel like out of control with my emotions again. And I was like, I can never be without NINGXIA Red ever again. And so I started drinking it again and I was fine. But after about a year, it's been a year and a half now, but after about a year, even if I go like a week or a few days without it, I don't find that I get triggered anymore. So I've actually found that the NINGXIA Red drink, which is a very high antioxidant, kind of superfood, whole food nutritional liquid supplement thing, I've actually found that drinking it consistently has actually, because it's a whole body nutritional supplement, which means that it supports all your body systems. And I won't go into all the research. There is actually a book called the NINGXIA WOLFBERRY, and this goes into the detailed research on the NINGXIA WOLFBERRY and how it supports all your body systems. If you want to get that, it's on Amazon. It's called the NINGXIA WOLFBERRY. I'll put a link in the description below for that as well. But since drinking that, I actually don't get triggered anymore. I don't even feel like I need to give myself the label of having that issue anymore, okay? And it's all because of drinking this liquid whole body nutritional supplement. So those two things specifically have been huge for helping me support my emotions. I will do another video at some stage on hormones, because I could talk about emotions forever. Hormones and emotions are very, very closely linked. So maybe I'll do another video. If anybody is interested, post in the comments below and let me know if you'd like me to do a video just talking more about hormones and emotions, how they're linked and how we can support them, so that we can be more balanced human beings. And then when we're more balanced, we can love ourselves more. So I really, really, really hope that this video has helped you guys. I want to just leave you on this one note again, that you were created in the image of our God, and you were put here for a purpose, for a reason. You are not a mistake. Your being on earth is a blessing, and I wish I could meet all of you and give you all a hug. Anybody that's struggling with this, I wish that I could give you a hug, but let me just say I'm giving you a virtual hug through the camera, and I want you to know that you are loved, you are valued, and even if you don't feel like anybody else in your life loves you or values you, God, I love and value you. Even if I don't know you, I want you to know that you're loved and valued. And when you know that love, and when you know how much God loves you and the value that you have in Christ, then you're able to love people that you don't even know. You're able to care about people that you don't even know. And you're able to love yourself and be confident in yourself. All right, I'm going to end the video here. Hopefully it's not too long. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, evening, wherever you are in the world. I am sending you all my love today. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I post videos as often as I possibly can. If you don't already follow me on Instagram, please follow me there. And if you want to know more about essential oils and you're not already in Young Living and you want to learn more about Young Living essential oils and how you could potentially join my oily community, then you are more than welcome to click the link in the description to join my oily group. Make sure you answer the questions that pop up when you request to join. Love you all guys, and see you in the next video.